When you've spent your whole life being judged for your body, people think they own your story. My best friend learned that the hard way. Her landlord couldn't stand seeing her lose weight, so she stole her secret. But what happened next was poetic justice in its purest form. If you've ever wanted to see karma serve justice with a smile, hit that like button, subscribe and settle in, because this is one of the funniest, most satisfying revenge stories you'll ever hear. Candle setup, the struggle. My best friend, let's call her Marie, had always struggled with her weight. For years, she lived with the kind of quiet pain that only people who've been looked down on can understand. Every doctor visit turned into a lecture. Every family dinner into a performance of, "Oh honey, you'd be so pretty if you just lost a few pounds." By her late 20s, Marie's weight had hit almost 300 pounds, and her self-esteem was buried somewhere underneath it. But Marie wasn't lazy. She wasn't clueless. She was just tired of the cycle of the looks, of the judgment. So one day, she took the biggest step of her life. She had gastric bypass surgery. It was painful, it was terrifying, and it was brave. Derelict house. Now, Marie lived on the bottom floor of an old house that had been converted into 2 apartments. Her landlady, Mrs. Dwyer, lived upstairs, the kind of woman who thinks your life is her business because she owns the building. Mrs. Dwyer was nosy, bitter, and loved to talk down to people. You know the type, always just checking in, but somehow knowing way too much about your mail, your guests, and your habits. When Marie came home from the hospital, weak and recovering, Mrs. Dwyer was right there, hovering, smiling that fake sugary smile. "Oh my, you're looking thinner already, dear. What's your secret?" Marie brushed it off. She didn't owe her an explanation. But as the weeks went by and her weight dropped, Mrs. Dwyer's curiosity grew into obsession. Fire. Marie would catch her landlady casually hanging around her door. One time, she found her peeking through the kitchen window under the pretense of watering her plants. She started asking invasive questions. "You're not sick, are you? Are you taking pills? Some kind of cleanse? You can tell me. I won't tell anyone." It was creepy but also kind of funny, because no matter how Marie tried to change the subject, Mrs. Dwyer had to know. Light bulb. Finally, one afternoon, Marie decided, if she's going to be nosy, she might as well get what she's asking for. So when Mrs. Dwyer cornered her in the hallway again, clutching a basket of mail she had clearly already read, and said, "Come on now, tell me what's really making you drop those pounds so fast." Marie smiled sweetly and said, "Well, it's this miracle protein powder. Total game changer." Now technically she wasn't lying. After gastric bypass, your stomach's so small you do need high-protein supplements to stay healthy. But the miracle part, that was all part of the setup. Shushing face. A few days later, Marie noticed something strange. Her recycling bin, the one out by the side door, looked disturbed. Cans and bottles were moved around, and her empty protein powder container was missing. She didn't think much of it, until the next morning Mrs. Dwyer showed up at her door holding that exact same brand. "You mean this one? 'Cause it says weight gainer right here. Are you sure you're using it right?" Marie nearly burst out laughing on the spot, but she kept her cool. "Oh, that. Yeah, it has to be labeled that way for legal reasons. But the results speak for themselves." She gestured to her slimmer figure, adding with perfect calm, "It's kind of a secret formula thing. You'll see." Smiling face with horns. Mrs. Dwyer's eyes lit up. She actually thought she had discovered the secret to effortless weight loss. That same day, she went out and bought a massive canister of the exact same weight gainer powder. When she brought it home, she told Marie smugly, "Oh, I'll probably lose it faster than you. I've always been healthier. My metabolism's just stronger." Marie just nodded and said, "Of course. Just make sure you have it for every meal. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And maybe a few snacks between just to keep your carbs up. That's the key." She closed her door and then laughed until her sides hurt. Mantelpiece clock. Over the next few weeks, Marie watched the story unfold like her own private sitcom. Every time she walked past the recycling bins, she'd see another empty canister of weight gainer sitting on top. First one, then two, then three. And every time she saw Mrs. Dwyer, the woman looked less smug and slightly puffier. By week 3 she had stopped bragging. By week 5 she was frustrated. By week 6 she came knocking again. "I don't understand," she huffed. "I've been eating it 3 times a day like you said, and I haven't lost an ounce." Marie blinked innocently. "Oh really? That's so strange. Maybe your body's adjusting. I mean, you are keeping your carbs up, right?" Mrs. Dwyer sighed. "I've been snacking constantly, just like you said. I don't get it." Marie's smile didn't waver. "Well, maybe it just takes longer for some people. Keep at it. Consistency is key." And just like that, Mrs. Dwyer walked away, defeated, exhausted, and a few pounds heavier than before. Performing arts. For the next few weeks, Marie quietly enjoyed the show. The miracle powder kept appearing in the recycling bin until one day it stopped. Mrs. Dwyer had given up. Marie never said a word. Not a boast, not a smirk. She just kept losing weight, kept glowing, and kept that little secret locked away like a private treasure. Because the truth was, revenge didn't have to be loud or cruel. Sometimes the sweetest payback is just letting karma do the feeding. Sparkler. In the end, Marie's story wasn't just about revenge. It was about reclaiming dignity. After a lifetime of being underestimated, she finally got to stand tall and quietly prove that she didn't owe anyone an explanation, least of all someone who mocked her. She never rubbed it in. She didn't need to. Mrs. Dwyer's reflection in the mirror was punishment enough. And though Marie's no longer with us, this memory, her wit, her quiet strength, her humor, still makes me smile. She turned humiliation into humor, and insecurity into empowerment. Direct hit. If this story made you laugh or gave you that warm feeling of justice served, hit that like button, and drop a comment below. What's the funniest or most satisfying revenge you've ever seen? And don't forget to subscribe, because I've got plenty more stories where karma does the talking.